What's going on YouTube? This is Brian916. In this video, I want to talk about how to torque a cylinder head bolt or any type of torque to yield bolt without using a torque angle gauge, and to be pretty spot on with the measurement without guessing. So just a quick word on torque to yield bolts. I wanted to mention this tip. I see a lot of techs when they see vehicle specifications referring to a torque angle specification or tightening the bolt with a torque angle procedure. Most techs automatically assume that the bolt is a torque to yield bolt as soon as they hear torque angle. That it doesn't mean that this is a torque to yield bolt per se. Okay, so I wouldn't assume that it's just a TTY fastener. Torquing with a torque angle method can be applied to any fastener. So all it means is that it's basically a measurement system to be able to accurately calculate a value of load applied to whatever two pieces is being clamped together. Also, it's more accurate because torque wrenches can be off or not 100% accurate. Everyone goes over torque slightly, or your torque wrench may be not calibrated, and you may go way over the torque value. In other words, you're relying on the wrench to give you the proper torque value, whereas a torque to yield or a torque angle procedure, you're not relying on a torque wrench to give you the value. It's the bolt turned to a certain angle. You know, if it reaches this angle, you're going to get a pre-calculated amount of torque applied to whatever two pieces is clamped together. So it's far more accurate, and it's less likely to rely on a torque wrench that could fail you. So that's why most manufacturers use torque angle procedures. Doesn't mean the bolt is a TTY. Check your manual. If the manual doesn't say to discard the bolts, or after you remove the bolts, throw the bolts away and install new ones, likely it's not a TTY bolt. Just because it says a torque angle procedure does not mean you need to throw the bolt away. Any bolt can be torqued with a torque angle procedure. So anyway, that's just a side point. So if you do not have one of these torque angle gauges, how can you get a proper torque angle method done? So this is what I recommend you do, and it's fairly simple. Go online and just Google a torque angle gauge. So let's say this particular torque angle gauge is at 250 degrees, right? So we got 240, 250, 260, 270. So it's at 250. Okay, so what I would do is I would go to my bolt and I would make a mark right on the 0 degree line. Right there. Right on a 0 degree, right? Let's make a 0 degree line right up top. Okay, so that's 0 degrees. Now we know I got my bolt marked here, so we know 250 needs to be here. So what we need to do is we need to find where that 250 is going to be, and this is the part where you need to spend a little bit more time and make sure it's accurate. So what you're going to do is, you know that this is 180, all the way around is going to be 180. Okay, so you know over is going to be about 190, just a bit. You know you're going to keep going over at about 210, 240. So you know somewhere right around here is going to be your 250 mark. Now, is this perfect? Not 100%, but it's pretty darn close, depending on how much time you take to study the gauge and where about your bolt is about to turn. You can get this pretty accurate. So now you got your mark here on the 0 degrees that we put here. I probably should have used a color marker. Well, this white color doesn't show up as good. But anyway, so we're on a zero degree mark, right? So what you want to do is you can take your fastener and you can turn that fastener until you get that 0 degree mark that you set to line up with your mark that you made, and likely you can get your proper torque angle. Okay, so that's just one method. If for some reason you can't get a hold of a torque angle gauge, this method you can use to be able to try to get the proper torque angle. And just take your time and look at a true torque angle. Typically 250 won't be a torque angle. Usually it's just 90 degrees, which is pretty easy to get. You know, it's easy to get a 90 degree mark. You could probably just get, you know, something that's a straight edge and just get it, you know, straight to the bolt 100%. And then, you know, you get that 90 degree swing. So, but this is a way to do it if it's a tricky torque angle value and you don't have a torque angle gauge. You can always use your bolt as your pointer and make sure you find some mark on the cylinder head or some mark somewhere that's going to represent your 250 mark or whatever the torque spec mark is. You know, if it was going to be 180, you know, we'd put that mark right here, and then we'd put, you know, the 0 mark here and swing it down to 180. So hopefully this tip works, and that little bit of information on torque angle and torque to yield bolts help you when working with bolts and fasteners that are torque to yield and using the torque angle procedure. Again, this is Brian 916. Thank you for watching my videos. It's much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one.